Oh. I love this sea.
Be with you in a moment.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
Not a trick, my friend. Magic. Be that as it may. Ceramorphosis. What does it make you think of?
Well, first and foremost, that damn tadpole I got inserted into my brain.
Spot on. Day 1, fever and memory loss. Day 2, hallucinations and greying skin. Day 3, hair loss and blood leaking from all orifices. Need to go on?
Yeah. Favinor nods.
Day 4, excruciating pain as the skeleton and organs reform and reposition. Day 5, the host personality has disappeared. Fingers and toes and limbs elongate. I take it you get the picture?
I do, but, well, you might as well finish the picture.
Day 6, the flesh around the mouth splits to make way for tentacles. Day 7, a mind flayer is born. This is the annotated version, of course.
By the way, I was playing a sorcerer on my last playthrough. It was pretty fun to watch my character call Gale a nerd in every conversation. I mean, he's like the living embodiment of a nerd. But I have to say, that's what I like about him. It's really interesting to have the different takes on magic. Huh. That's weird. According to what you said, like, on the first day, on the second day, and so on, shouldn't we be having fever right now? Graying skin as well?
Spot on again. Our orifices remain blissfully unblooded, our heads remain clear, and our blood temperature normal. Any expert will agree this is abnormal.
So, huh. But can you explain why the symptoms aren't showing?
That, alas, is where my knowledge fails me. A rogue might call it luck, a priest might call it fate. As for myself, I'm a pragmatic. I see the silence before the storm. Something to sleep on. We should get some rest.
Sweet dreams after that conversation.
Can I go?
Huh, they're all here. Let's just, before talking, explore the camp a bit. Did you like how they designed the sorcerer? I didn't try it out, so I don't really know how they implemented that with meta magic and the stuff. Ah, our skeleton guy friend. Like, Thane 2.0.
We meet again. As predicted, I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services.
Your services? What exactly do you mean? What kind of services can, no offense, a skeleton offer?
A mending of the threads between life and death. Should thou or any of thy compatriots perish, I will cleave soul to body once more.
So you revive. That's actually pretty incredibly powerful magic. Why is it so easy for you to do?
Because it is my calling. There is little else to explain.
Who are you? You're somehow related to the god. But, like an avatar maybe? That's actually really helpful. Luckily no one's dead currently.
Indeed. Farewell.
I want to know more about you. To be honest, I was skeptical at first, but there are some very cool things you can do with it, such as throwing 2 fireballs on one turn. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Sometimes I'm a bit confused, cause, I mean, of course, cause it's for a video game and it's not actually tabletop role-playing, they bend the rules or change them a bit. Cause like throwing 2 fireballs wouldn't be possible with the original rule set. But that sounds really fun, really nice.
Fate spins along as it should, although thou dost not seem to be in need of my services.
May I ask, well, I don't want to be rude, but what are you?
There are many answers to that question. None are important.
Oh, come on. Those are stupid. Well, I hope we'll find more about you. Yeah, will be quite the question who we want to have in our party.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
I have to say, I definitely want to have Gale in my party.
I'm ready.
Also really like Shadowheart. And then we have one with intelligence, one with wisdom, we have dexterity and charisma.
Keep your distance.
But a rogue is also interesting. Yeah. Just to spoil that, Wyll is a warlock, melee-based warlock, so also charisma-based, and I'm not sure of strength or dexterity. And yeah, Lae'zel is a fighter, so pretty hands-on and strength-based. I think I'll just stay with this party composition. Wild magic variant is also interesting. I got an effect once that caused me to swap places with my target. I created a fire surface under a guy and then bang, I'm lying in it prone. Yeah, that's not really fun. Like the wild magic sorcerer in the tabletop version also has like a, I don't know if you know the tabletop D&D, then I don't have to explain it, then you can stop me. But every time you cast a spell, you roll a d20, and when you get a 20, you get an effect from a very long table. So you roll a d100, and then determine what you do, or what happens. And one effect is that a fireball centered on you explodes. And that can always happen, and especially if you're on a really low level, you can like instantly kill yourself if you have very bad luck, or even worse, like your whole party. And a few weeks ago I DM'd a session and someone actually played a wild magic sorcerer, and we were joking about that case because it's like the worst case for you. And the first spell she cast, she got a net 20, so she got a wild magic surge, and then she got that fireball centered on her. And it was hilarious. It was just so improbable. Alright. Yeah, let's just talk with our companions.
I saw you getting a lecture from our magical friend. I have to say, I thought you'd look worse, but no. Not a tentacle to be seen.
That's what everyone's saying about us. Is it so strange?
It's unexpected, but we shan't complain. I'm not taking anything for granted, of course. First sign of change, and I'll have to stop that pretty little heart of yours. I am open to suggestions. Knives, poison, strangulation, whatever you'd prefer.
He would never say that, but sounds kinky. Yeah, I mean, if you are on the verge of turning into a Mind Flayer, poison, I think? That sounds as painless as it can get.
A fine choice. I can think of some
He
nightshades that are
approves.
deliciously fatal. If they're mixed well, you'll just close your eyes and drift away. And if they're not, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is all a worst-case scenario, obviously.
Obviously, that won't happen. We can't let that happen.
If the last day has taught me anything, it's that the impossible is more likely than you think. Now, let's get some rest. The sooner we start tomorrow, the better our chances of keeping this hypothetical.
Seems to me like you had a lot of experience with tabletop D&D. I had to learn everything from scratch to play Baldur's Gate 3. I can imagine it needs to be somehow different from the game. Yeah, I've been playing D&D for like 4 years, I think, and quite a lot, so DMing or playing in campaigns as well. Yeah, it's also really fun. And yeah, I get that it might be a bit overwhelming in the beginning because you have so many options, so many spells, and it's advantageous to know D&D, so you are like, oh, of course, that's that, and that's how that works. But sometimes it's a bit confusing when things don't work as in the tabletop variant. So yeah, then it's like, oh, that works like that? I'm confused. Like things like you can shove with a bonus action is one example.
Abominations grow inside us. Our bones should ache. Our mouths should bleed. Yet we thrive. It is madness. Keep your rest short. Time is not our ally.
Okay, don't you want to talk more?
Great talent or not, no druid can cleanse an embedded tadpole. Give no credence to such fantasy.
Are you sure a crash is our only path to a cure?
Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. To all questions, the Kalir Library harbors answers. A gift from Vlaakith herself, that we may gain total understanding.
I mean, that kind of wisdom seems quite valuable.
Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant, order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more. Infinities upon infinities.
I have one particular D&D character who would be so into that concept. He's really all in for knowledge. So, but tell me, how do you know so much about Mind Flayers?
I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less.
So, okay. But I think questioning things is still, well, whatever. So, what do you suggest to do next?
We find this Zorru in the Red Hunter's camp. He will point us to a creche. There we may be purified.
I'm not going to talk about her appearance. Alright, thanks for the talk. I'm trying to get my friends into Baldur's Gate 3 on release. Wish me luck, this is going to be quite a feat. Yeah, good luck with that. Are they not into role-playing games that much? I played the first 2 rounds of this game together with my best friend, and that was really awesome. It's really nice games to play together, so hope that works out for you.
Easy path.
I couldn't help but overhear. Well, alright, I could have helped, but didn't. Anyway, I feel the same. Other than the occasional mental exchange, it's almost as if we're not infected. The voice on the ship told me I'd become a beautiful weapon. What do you think it meant?
Sounds definitely like it has plans for us. The question is, what are the plans? Just becoming mind flayers?
Whatever they were, those plans were interrupted by the dragons. Either way, we can't take the lack of symptoms for granted. We have to find a healer. Well, I've said my piece. Get some rest. All's well, I hope? Aside from the obvious.
Nothing really new. Okay, maybe that. You know, since we've been traveling for quite a few days, I think we should get to know each other a little more.
Must we? No harm in a little mystery, don't you think?
That sounds almost hostile. You don't want to talk about yourself?
I should hope not. Have you ever heard the people who want to talk about themselves? I'm doing you a favor.
Oh. Well, if you're not comfortable, I won't press you.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll get along perfectly well.
Sure. We played Divinity Original Sin 2 together, but I found Baldur's Gate 3 way more complicated and harder to understand. Mostly due to the fact that you can easily mess up your abilities and end up with an unplayable character. Yeah, that's right. I have to say I don't really look for that, but the game doesn't really give you like any or lots of tips how to build your character, right?
Looking ahead. Salutations.
Well, since you told it me so often, I'm gonna bite. An unusual name, the Blade of Frontiers.
Living legend in the flesh. Slayer of specters, killer of kobolds. The pride of Baldur's Gate.
Oh yes, I'm not Baldurian, backstory-wise at least. The esteemed Blade. Why, well, your reputation precedes you. I heard quite a few stories and poems about you.
So you know the stories. All true, I might add. Won't be long before they're telling new tales. Mind flayers, flying ships, dragon attacks. The legend grows.
Your eye, though, it seems quite unusual. May I ask what happened?
Now, I always save the best stories for my closest friends and my cruelest enemies. Get to be one of those, and I'll spill the whole jug. You get that, right? Spill the whole jug? I guess I'll toss that one in the heap.
Favinor doesn't flinch at all. Alright, let's just talk about something else.
I'm all ears.
I mean, look around. All of our companions are really anxious or agitated, but you don't seem to be affected. You seem like really in high spirits. Aren't you afraid to turn any moment?
Did you see those tiefling kids? Do you reckon our moping and muttering does them much good? They should be chasing frogs, climbing trees, not training for battles they can't win. Those people look at me and they see a hero. Imagine how bad they feel if they were wrong.
Alright, so your plan was dealing with the goblins, so any specific plan?
There's an old saying I just made up. To fell a dragon, you must chop off its head.
These goblins are organized. It's no hamhead pulling the strings.
We slither through their camp and off their leaders, quick as crickets.
That's a saying I made up. Great. Alright. But yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2 is also a really nice game to play together. It's actually the game I started streaming, and just tonight I was like, yeah, maybe try something else. Alright, I think we talked with everyone, so not really sure how to prepare spells. Where they moved that. Weapon, use ranged, character sheet.
I applaud your taste.
I wonder what the next move is.
Okay, just quick save and let's see
No time to
how
rest.
to do that. Select.